What?
I have yet to see a policy that defines what a proof of loss is. They discuss it, but there is no standardized form or what is required to be in a proof of loss.
The policy describes it in explicit detail in the duties after a loss. It tells you every single, if you read the duties after a loss, you're looking for a single form, and I see now what's going on. You're looking for a single form that's called the proof of loss. There is no such thing. Yeah, the proof of loss is a package. The only time I could ever really say that a proof of loss would be okay with a singular page is if, say, you had a diamond ring. A singular item that could be described, priced, and all of the information that's required under the duties after a loss. And I mean things like the ownership, all of these things that are technical requirements are there, and they list them out in the duties. But the proof of loss is always going to be a package. Our proof of loss is typically 20 to 120 pages long.
Plus 1 page.
But the duties after a loss specifically tell you exactly, that's what you're creating. When you do all of those duties, you create a proof of loss package. And then you submit that package. And that's the beautiful thing, because at that point, you know what you are? Done. When that SPOL is submitted, you are done. What you're doing now is facilitating access. Right? You've put your case to the insurance company, and now you need to meet them back out there with whoever they send. I don't give a shit if they send the Seek Now guy, if they send an engineer that's electrical, but you're looking at structural and he doesn't know. We've seen everything that you could possibly imagine. Ask the guy, how did you get out here? I don't know. They called yesterday. Said, could I come out here and do that? And I said, well, I'm electrical. And they said, we don't care. We just need an engineer to go out there.
And so if you look at the statutory language in a lot of states too, when it comes to proof of loss, which triggers the deadlines, it says, once a proof of loss is triggered, you have certain timelines in which to pay. Most states describe the proof of loss as when the insurance company receives all item statements and forms, right, that are necessary to secure final proof of loss, right? So it doesn't talk about a single document. It talks about all item statements, forms, right? That leads you to believe it is just that, right? It is a package. It is a full documentation of all the damages that are there, right? Which items you're alleging are damaged, what the scope of work is, to properly indemnify the insured. So it's more than just a single. You have a summary page that a lot of us are familiar with this, proof of loss that may have RCV, ACV, right? That does not itemize out each individual line item. You have to have the full scope of work. So it's more of a package, not just the summary page.
As the policy requires, it says specifically, we want a detailed, itemized estimate of all of the damages that have occurred, right? And would you want to pay somebody any money whatsoever because you had a contract with them that said you would pay under certain terms and conditions if they were met, that you would pay for these things? Would you want to pay anything that contract didn't say that you paid? You wouldn't, and neither would I. I only want to pay what's legitimate. If I owe it to you, baby, you're going to get it quick, right? If I don't owe it to you, me and you're going to have a fight about it. Yeah, if I don't believe that I owe it to you, I'm going to pull that contract out and tell you point blank I don't. I don't begrudge the insurance company for being a business. None of us should. The part I get pissed off about is the lies, the deceit. I'm a good neighbor. You're in good hands. Let me send my guy out to your house to tell you how much I owe you. When it's an obvious conflict of interest and there's not a single place in the policy that supports the insurance company being the one to come out and tell you how much they owed you. Have any of you ever read that in a single policy? No, you haven't, because it does not exist. The duty to assess the damage falls directly, squarely on the insured shoulders. We've been doing this for almost 20 years, Melanie and I. We've done judges, senators, lowest of the low, highest of the high, smartest of the smart, dumbest of the dumb, richest of the rich, poorest of the poor. Do you know how many of those folks could perform the duties after a loss on their own? Not a single one. And agents and adjusters, let me add those. We've had quite a few agents and quite a few adjusters that we've done their claims as well. Not a single one even knew of the existence of those items. The whole crutch of what it takes to get the insurance claim done correctly, all based upon the lie that makes me mad. My guy's going to come out there and treat you good. He's going to come out there and do you right, and he's going to pay my money to you willingly, happily, and correctly. And the whole world believes it. Go ahead.
When's the 60-day pre-suit notice get triggered?
All of these claims that are being filed, almost right now, if you look at the litigation that's going on, and it used to make me furious back 10, 12 years ago when they would say, hey, all of this frivolous litigation that's going on by all of these people. And the minute they said frivolous, boy, my blood would boil. Frivolous? These damn insurance companies are doing this horrific stuff and you're saying frivolous. And then not long after that, it occurred to me, wait a second.